Dylan, leave you here. CT joining the conversation as we move inside the octagon. UFC 209 last night. Ty Woodley retaining that belt against Stephen Thompson. And I got to know, CT, what you thought about this fight. First, Ty Woodley sharing his response with the media to the critics that they weren't impressed with his performance. Some people saying this fight was kind of boring. Ty Woodley took them to task.
I want to see Dana get in there and fight Wonderboy. Watch everybody else that walked in there. Watch Patrick Cote. Watch Robert Whitaker. Watch all these guys that thought they were just going to bulldoze him, and they disrespected his style. I did the opposite. I embraced his style. I brought in the world champion currently, Avery Plowden, in his weight division. I brought in Sage Northcutt. I brought in Chris Bang. I brought in tons of guys in the actual sport fighting world, Raymond Daniels, and you can't disrespect that style. What happens is you think you got it figured out, and kicks and punches come from weird angles, and you find yourself without this, and you find yourself knocked out. So I know, this is a sport where you guys love to see knockouts. You love to see the gore. You love to see blood, guys getting beat up, and then he find a way to come back, and then other guy, the teeter. I love it. I love watching it as well. But guess what? I love being the world champion, and sometimes it's not the sexiest fight on earth.
All right, CT, Ty Woodley saying, I love to see the back and forth haymakers as much as anyone, but you know what I love more than that? Keeping my damn belt. And he did that. Now that he has fought Stephen Thompson twice, who do you want to see him face next?
I'll tell you one thing. I definitely do not want to see him face Wonderboy again. I don't want to see a trilogy. When you talk about a Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz, I would like to see part 3 there at some point down the road because each of them won one. But we've seen this enough. Even if they ran this back a few years down the road, I do not want to see Wonderboy versus Woodley ever again. They're talking about last night, one of the worst title fights in history, and it was bad. As far as what we see next, it's hard to gauge when you talk about the UFC because, they don't go by the rankings anymore. You can just pull somebody up who doesn't necessarily deserve a title shot, but just because it's a big money fight, that could be what we get. Some talk about Georges St. Pierre. If he can beat Michael Bisping and win that middleweight title, maybe he goes back to welterweight because Georges St. Pierre, he ruled the welterweight division. So that might be that big money fight that Tyron Woodley is looking for versus Georges St. Pierre. Pierre has to take care of business first versus Michael Bisping. There's also Damian Maia who's out there. If Woodley and Wonderboy hadn't fought to a majority draw the first time, then Maia may have gotten his shot. But Maia does have to fight Jorge Masvidal. So if Maia wins that fight, maybe he's the guy that moves up. He's the kind of logical choice that's already in the division because after Wonderboy lost and Robbie Lawler fell to Tyron Woodley, Maia, if he wins, is the next guy up. But if it's one thing we know about the UFC, the next guy up doesn't always get a shot at the title.
Doesn't get that next chance. And we'll see who Ty Woodley has on his next card after retaining that UFC welterweight belt by majority decision against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson last night at UFC 209.